Thank you very much for joining me on this Thursday, and thank you for taking the time to subscribe and share this information. Clearly important information, watching a few things. In this video, I want to get to this, the storm potential, the potential this becomes a hurricane and gets close to the Caribbean. I'm going to break that down for us in the Caribbean. Also, we have some rain in the southeastern Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, for example. We've had some rain. I'm going to get into that. Plus, this system is not advertised very well. There should be some watches up along the mid-Atlantic. There's going to be some hurricane conditions possible, North Carolina up through Delmarva. I want to get into that again. This is going to develop, so clearly plenty to cover. So let me dive into that in this video. Let me kind of take it step by step. First, let's get to this. Here's the Caribbean, and watching this blob here. That's the one that is going to develop. Now, where it goes, still uncertain at this point, which makes sense because with a developing system, a system that hasn't fully developed yet, it's a little bit harder to track, but I'm on top of it for you, watching everything in the environment. I'm going to show you the steering conditions with this ahead. All right, so the American model has this basically move into the northeastern Caribbean. That would be an issue because that would mean tropical storm and close to hurricane conditions would be possible for the northeastern Caribbean. The European model has this curve away in time that would keep the tropical storm or the hurricane conditions away, which clearly means we've got a little bit of a split here in some of the models. I want to show you what I'm seeing though long term in a moment. The Canadian and the ICON, which is the German model, have this also very close to the northeastern Caribbean. Point being, there's a lot of question marks. I'm not certain what's going to happen with this as far as the track is concerned, but I want to show you what I'm seeing. Everything I'm looking at behind the scenes, let me show it to you right now. Here's the European model, which as a whole is the best model out there. It's not always right. The American was better with Lee, but right now the European model is seeing the environment pretty well. So what's going on here is, here's this area of low pressure, here's the Caribbean. Now Nigel, that is curving away. That'll bring some gustier winds to the UK this weekend. Nigel is very important in this area here off the coast of the Carolinas. Also very important what happens down the road with this. So let me bring you out in time. This is by Saturday morning. Okay, so Saturday morning, look at this, a tropical storm, or at least tropical storm to near hurricane conditions, the mid-Atlantic of the United States. I'm going to zoom down into that and show you the winds in a second in that. But what's going on is this area here doesn't just shoot out to sea because high pressure is blocking this. Now, what's going to happen though is as I watch this system approach the Caribbean, this system here may help, and it will help, push away this blocker. Push away this area of high pressure. Let me show it to you. Let me take you out in time. Again, this is Saturday morning, taking you out in time through the weekend. This is by the time we get into Monday. By Monday, this system here weakens up toward New England. Here's the system we're watching here that is going to be getting stronger, most likely a tropical depression or tropical storm by the time we get into early next week, getting closer to the Caribbean. But you see the blocker? It's over here now. This area here is helping to nudge this area of high pressure off to the east. So what the heck does all that mean, Brian? Well, that means this area here may allow this to curve a little bit. This is it's not good news that we're going to see these impacts in the Carolinas and Delmarva as we get over the next few days. But this area here is helping to push that area of high pressure around, and that's why the European model is showing a little bit of a curve. So this would be by Wednesday. By Wednesday of next week, it would be a tropical storm or even a hurricane, and then because of this area up here, that allows it to kind of find an alley. It keeps this blocker way over here. See this H over here? That keeps it away and allows this to make a curve. So that does make sense. Now, with that said, even if this were to try to curve away, it is going to be very close, and this system hasn't developed. It is harder to track a system that has not developed. There's no real center of this to kind of latch onto. The computer models don't have a center, so it makes it a little more difficult. But you see, either way, the European model does have this kind of curving away. That would be a better scenario for the Caribbean. Of course, we desperately need some of the rain. Now, the American model also makes some sense. It's just saying, hey, it's not going to have as much of a window to move away. The American model, though, would be kind of a worst case scenario. And I do not know which one is right yet, and I don't do this channel for clicks or for hype. So with that said, I'm not saying this is coming at us. I don't know yet. So this here, though, the American model showing a scenario, which could also happen. It's just saying, hey, high pressure is going to hang in a little bit more to the north for a little bit longer, and that would allow a developing system to move in. So by Monday night, there would be a tropical storm just to the east of the Bahamas. Either way, or excuse me, to the east of the Caribbean. Either way, we're going to have a system here. It's just a matter, does it make its curve or does it move in? You see, by Tuesday night, there is a potential of tropical storm conditions or potentially hurricane conditions moving in Tuesday night into Wednesday in the northeastern Caribbean. I'm going to talk more about what that means for a second if you are watching from the Caribbean. If you're watching from Montserrat, Saba, you're watching from St. Kitts and Nevis, and you're like, hey, what does this mean? Anguilla, Antigua, Barbuda, the Virgin Islands over toward Puerto Rico. You see here a closer approach and then right into the northeastern Caribbean by the middle of next week. That could also happen. I'm not trying to hedge things saying this could happen or this could happen. I just don't know yet because, again, this system hasn't really wrapped up. But I'm doing my best to give you the early heads up that we clearly need to watch this system out there. Now, looking at everything in the environment, I know this map is crazy. There's a bazillion lines on this map. I get that. Here's the Caribbean right here, okay? Over here, here is this developing system. Now, in the short term, there's a lot of wind shear. See this orange shading? That's a good thing. Those are winds in the opposite direction. So as this system tries to build up, the winds in the opposite direction come across, knock off the thunderstorm so it doesn't develop as quickly. With that said, as this gets down the road, the wind shear is going to lessen. So as it approaches the Caribbean, it is going to strengthen. And that's my overall concern. I do see this becoming a tropical storm and then eventually a hurricane and getting close to the Caribbean. And that's why I'm trying to put the word out that we need to watch this. Doesn't mean we need to go into full preparation mode yet. There's a little bit of time. Hopefully it makes the turn. But as of now, we really need to watch it because it is going to develop into a named system. So the model differences are because of this area of high pressure. If this area of high pressure moves away, that'll allow it to curve. If this area of high pressure is stronger and builds in, the American model here, this green here, that would allow this to come into the Caribbean. As we work our way into tomorrow, I'll have a much better idea on the track of this as we get closer in time to this, especially tomorrow. I'll be able to see the trends in the models and what's going on in the atmosphere, what's going on with this area of high pressure. So what does this mean for us now? I'm watching every island, big or small. That's why we do this channel together. We built this weather community together. Thank you for being part of it. Now, watching basically from Haiti and the Turks and Caicos in the Dominican Republic, around toward Puerto Rico, British and U.S. Virgin Islands, Anguilla, swinging all the way down through about Dominica. That's where we need to be on higher alert. If something does develop and come at us in the Caribbean, it should be just to the north of St. Lucia in Barbados. So really Dominica north all the way back through Hispaniola. I'm not saying we need to make preparations because I don't know this is coming in yet, but please spread the word. I want the right information to get out about this system. Please spread the word that there is a system out there to watch and that if it comes our way, if it does come our way, that would bring tropical storm or hurricane impacts. The timing of that would most likely be late Tuesday into Wednesday. But hopefully late Tuesday and Wednesday, that area of high pressure moves away, and this is one of those close calls. We've had those this season. I'll be tracking them for you. I'll be watching just how many kilometers or miles this gets to some of our islands. I'll be zooming down island by island for us. We hope it stays away, but again, I want that alert out clearly for safety's sake, just spreading the word that, hey, we've got to watch something, and then tomorrow I'll have a much better handle on if this is coming our way. Now, the next two names on the list are Ophelia and Philippe. This one will get a name off the coast of Africa, but so might this. Now, this system is not being advertised well at all. What I mean by that is it's going to be stronger. I believe there should be watches up along parts of the mid-Atlantic for a subtropical storm. This is going to develop. If you're in extreme eastern sections of North Carolina, I would be making tropical storm preparations all the way up through Delmarva, Ocean City, Maryland. I'd be making preparations for tropical storm potential with this. By the time we get into late Friday, I'm going to show you the winds in a second. This system is really going to wrap up. Yeah, maybe tropical, yeah, maybe subtropical. It's a pretty big system either way. We're going to get some very gusty winds out of this. And along the Chesapeake, especially on the west side, the water is going to be backing up. There's going to be some flooding in here. That's also a concern with this. This is by Saturday. By Saturday, some of the heavier rain will start to spread into New York and up through New England. Core of the system down here. But this is going to bring at least tropical storm impacts to parts of Delaware. As you get into Delmarva, as you get into, say, around Salisbury, Ocean City, Maryland, down all the way through parts of southern Virginia, southeastern Virginia, Virginia Beach, and this is by the time we get into late Saturday. And then up the coast, we're going to see a heavy rain event, about 3 to 5 inches of rain in here, but flooding of potential and some gusty winds. A strong tropical storm does bring some power outages to the Outer Banks of North Carolina, watching anywhere from Hatteras over toward Corolla, watching over toward Duck for this. Now look how the winds wrap up in this. See this white shading here. Now I do this channel for a lot of folks, so I've got kilometers an hour and miles per hour on here. The white shading, that would be 50, 60 mile per hour winds. That's a healthy tropical storm or subtropical storm. And you see the wind arrows coming this way. That would back up some of the water in here as you get into the western sections of the Chesapeake. So we're going to see that kind of surge of water building up. And look at a little of this red showing up here. As this works its way up toward the Outer Banks, by the time we get into Friday, this is just tomorrow night into Saturday morning, this red here, those are winds of about 70 miles per hour. We could have gusts 70, 75, close to hurricane conditions on the Outer Banks of North Carolina. That's what I was mentioning. I do believe there should have been. Hopefully they do issue some at least watches for this, but I'm trying to put the word out there now that this is going to be a healthy subtropical or tropical storm as it rides up the coast, regardless of if they name it. I don't control that. You could see it for yourself here. We're going to get some gusty winds, and then watch it over towards Stone Harbor. You get into southern New Jersey, there's going to be some winds that will be gusting to about 50 miles per hour, so there could be a little bit of that surge as we work our way back in through here as well. So watching both of these areas very carefully as we go forward, and then as we go out in time. And you see here, again, by the time we get into Sunday, even some gusty winds over toward the Cape and the Islands, but most of the action down through southeastern Virginia, back through Delmarva and the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Tropical storm conditions will be moving in. Now back to what we've got going on now across the Caribbean. Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. We've been talking about that increased chance of rain the last few days. We've had scattered showers and storms. And this here, southeastern sections of the Caribbean, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we had some rain and storms overnight. Been watching some near Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia, Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago. A few days ago, I was mentioning the uptick in the rain, and that's what we're finally seeing. We do need to get some of the rain in here. Hopefully you're not dealing with too many problems with the lightning and some isolated flooding, but that rain chance is higher today. We've got a little disturbance working by, so you can see that rain chance eastern Caribbean higher today. Elsewhere, some spotty showers and storms. Cuba, Jamaica, Cayman Islands passing shower, few in Belize, and then a better chance here Nicaragua south. Guatemala and El Salvador seeing some rain. ABC Islands were still pretty dry. Spotty showers Venezuela and Colombia. This is by tomorrow afternoon, scattered about. Guyana and Suriname finally getting into the mix with at least isolated to some scattered showers. And as we work our way into our Saturday forecast, of course, at this point, we'll be watching off to the east to see just how close this next system will be getting to the Caribbean. I'll be monitoring to see how close it gets and if it will make its curve. This is Kenneth out there. No bother. That is going to weaken as it moves to the north in the eastern Pacific. So that rain chance, it is higher today. Let me know what the weather is where you are across Trinidad. Let me know if you get rain or don't get rain. Leave it in the comments. I'll be checking that throughout the day. Barbados, we've got the elevated 50 to 60% chance the next few days. Same thing in St. Lucia. We had some rain nearby last night. Grenada, the elevated 70% chance of rain, a 70% chance today in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, a 50% chance tomorrow. Next few days in Jamaica, still going with those scattered storms, but a couple could be on the strong side. Belize scattered about. Next 2 days, 40% chance, 50% chance of rain and storms scattered today in Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Montserrat, about a 30% chance. Passing shower Antigua and Barbuda, 40% chance for today in Puerto Rico, 30% chance tomorrow, 40% chance on Saturday. U.S. and British Virgin Islands, isolated passing shower possible, 20% chance today in Anguilla, and a 50% chance today in the Bahamas. A little more of that, again, northern Bahamas. That's where we have a better chance with that developing system that'll lift up toward the mid-Atlantic of the United States. St. Martin, Ceiba, Statia, passing shower possible today, 40% chance the Yucatan of Mexico, 30% chance the next few days over toward the Cayman Islands may catch a passing shower even at night. Turks and Caicos, 20 to 30% chance. Afternoon storms possible as we work our way into Haiti. Dominican Republic, 40 to 50% chance the next 2 days. Rain chance stays limited in Aruba. As we get back through Curacao, rain chance about 20% by the time we get into Saturday. We'll take it. As we work our way into Guadeloupe, rain chance 40% today and tomorrow. 50% chance today in Martinique, and a 60 to 70% chance in Costa Rica, Panama, Nicaragua. Also seeing some rain and storms. 30 to 40% chance northern Venezuela. In Guyana and Suriname, at least that rain chance has been up the last couple days because, boy, do we need it in some spots. So, with all of that said, this new system off the coast of Africa is developing. All right, so thank you for getting the word out about that. It will be close. Either way, it's going to be close to the Caribbean by early next week. If it moves in, that would be late Tuesday into Wednesday, and most likely the northeastern Caribbean. Track those still uncertain because, as I mentioned, it is a little bit harder to track a system that does not have a clear center yet at this time. And then those tropical storm conditions, regardless if that system over toward the United States gets a name or not, eastern North Carolina, southeastern Virginia, up through parts of Maryland, eastern shore. We're going to see some heavier weather starting especially tomorrow night into early on Saturday with that next system. Long way to go in the hurricane season. Leave your comments. Thank you for getting the word out about this channel. I'm going to be watching. There's a lot going on. I'll be watching it around the clock. Trust me, I'll be answering some comments as well in the middle of the night. Stay safe, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.